Is he leaving?
All right. So what we want to do is just talk about the shred and what it's designed to do, what it did do, and then what happens next for everybody. When we did the shred, we knew or we know that it's 10 days, that it wasn't designed to be, I mean, it was 10 days and it was 10 days for a reason, so that you could have the opportunity to see what your body would do in those 10 days. Because we know that if we said do this for 30 days or 40 days or any other longer time, people have a pushback. And we know you can do anything for 10 days. And then after those 10 days, you have the opportunity to see what your body is saying to you. And there's oftentimes that it's after the 10 days when a person goes back to some of their habits prior to, then that's when they notice. So when we do the post-shred meeting, we just want to hear from the shredders about your experience. So first, I'd just like to, it is a discussion with the shredders. Just say how, if you're willing to come on and share, and then we will at the end of that talk about what happens next. So let me, Renetta, did you want to say anything as a shred leader with several shredders? Did you want to say anything about the shred before I go into?
That's so kind of you.
I know it's kind of me because I'm trying to do a text to all my shredders to tell them, oops, it's now.
I know, because we normally do things at 6. I
Yes.
sent the flyer out and said 6, and then the flyer said 5:30. I was like, oops.
Yeah, and all my
So
reminders
we're
are going out now
yeah,
to everybody.
yeah. So I want to
So
give shout outs to all, my wonderful team that's been shredding, and there may be some folks that won't get in, but thank you, Miss Francesca. And I know some people sat outside for a while and then they might have given up. So, but this is such a wonderful, wonderful program. And I have had such success. I heard so many wonderful testimonies. So I am excited for all of those who tried it, especially my first time shredders. So woo woo to all the first timers.
shredders.
And yeah, we're grateful for that and the whole opportunity to get that sample of complete. Everybody is addicted to the shakes now. It's official. Arlene said maybe there's something in these shakes, I don't know, that makes us want to have them more. But anyway, we're excited to be here. We can't wait to hear everyone's testimony. So I'll do some texting outside as well to let people know we're on. All right.
They were on.
Thanks,
So,
Robin. You're the best.
and maybe I should just leave it the way it is. I know people are like, is it a 6 or whatever? I'll just leave it. We'll just go with it. So let's talk about this. Let's get some feedback from some of you guys, from some of the shredders who's willing to just jump in, and don't be shy. Go ahead and unmute yourself, or if you want to be shy and you just want to text. But we want to hear from a shredder, especially if this is your first time shredding, how your experience was, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Who's willing to be so kind as to hop on and share? 909, did you want to share? I don't, it's a phone. Are we being shy, everybody? Now I know that some of y'all been shredding and you have an experience.
Hey, Robin.
Hi. Yes.
I'm trying to share my video, but it's not coming through. But so I was trying to let a first-time shredder, but I do want to say quickly that I had a small group of shredders who had a first time, and they're not on here. They are shy. So I had to put them in a small text chat. But the thing is, my first time people, they hung in there. They hung in there. And this is the first real shred. When I started, it was the whole 30. So,
Mhm.
but they hung in there. They complained of being hungry. We talked about snacks and, we talked about recipes and everything. They hung in there. But the biggest thing that happened for me personally was that when the shred first started, my cousin, who's my age, we grew up together, my first cousin was diagnosed with 3 types of cancer. And she had been a customer for like 3 years and never really took the product. But having this information, this got her attention, and she participated in the shred. And for the first time, she's, eating things that she hasn't been eating.
Mhm.
And she was excited to say that she lost 4 pounds and her husband lost 7. And her attitude is great. So I think she's going to do okay. I think she's going to be okay. That's what I believe,
Okay.
because I have no choice. But so the shred has new meaning for me right now. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much yes, Arlene or Miss Dandridge. Arlene,
Yes,
go
you're
for
right.
it.
Hi, everyone. So me and Bernetta have been, I'm Team Bernetta. I know we're Team Shred, but I'm also Team
Yes,
Bernetta.
absolutely.
And Bernetta has done the shred for so many years. And I was one of the individuals who was kind of slightly resistant towards it because I'm like, really, sister? That's what I call her. And
Mhm.
so this was my first time doing the shred with my husband, and we loved it.
Okay. This was your first time.
Believe it or not, Robin, this is my first time. And so me and my husband, and when I say first time, I'm talking about doing all the elements. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So actually doing the shakes, actually doing the Juice Plus capsules, actually, getting our sleep in, making sure we're moving. We did the full Monty. Before it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll take the capsules, or we were the gummy people who was like, we could take the gummies and still be okay, which you can.
Ah,
But we actually
okay.
went the full Monty and we loved it. And so this morning when I woke up, because I do meal prep with my husband,
Uh-huh.
this morning when we woke up, I was like, okay, honey, well, we're kind of off the shred. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, because we did the super shred. And he was
Ah,
like, oh, he was like, no. And, because we have gotten to the point where we literally fiend. And that's the word
okay.
that I'm going to use
Uh-huh.
after the completes. We
Wow.
love them for what they do to our body, as in it keeps us full,
Right.
as in, we feel the effects. Bernetta talks bad about me because I have a 3-year-old.
Okay.
And every time I get up, I'm going like, ooh, 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 because I have body aches, the acid in your body, the muscle aches and pains here and there. But since we've been doing the shred, I can hop up out of that bed without a problem. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I've been teasing her for a long time.
Wow.
So I will
uh-huh.
say, and I'm going to keep it short because I can go on and on and on.
Okay.
But I will say this is my first time. Me and Bernetta have always been on this health and wellness thing. She discovered Juice Plus so many years ago. And for whatever reason, I don't know, I just felt like what I was doing was working, but what I was doing was working only temporarily. It was not a lifestyle change. And so, I would, kind of hit bumps here and there with my previous program. And I was just like, I don't know why I keep, losing and then I keep gaining. And she was like, well, it sounds like you really need just the lifestyle change, Arlene. And she said, just do the shred with me, have your husband do it with me. And a part of that is even bringing my husband on board, because it's hard when you're trying to do the shred by yourself. So it took a while for my husband to get the fact, we were just used to cleansing every year. We did an annual cleanse. We would cleanse our system. We would do that. And then we would be mindful of our eating, but every now and then we would get stuck, because it's like you feed the sugar, you want the sugar. And so we're both sugar people. And so we would find ourselves in seasons where we would like eat a whole bunch of sugar, then we gain weight, and then, we fall off the wagon. And so me and my husband, we said, if we can just give ourselves a year to do Juice Plus for real, let's give it a real try. And this was our first time giving it a real try. And I can raise my right hand and say, oh, Bernetta was
Wow.
right yet again.
You know, I'm shocked that this is your first time. And
Yeah.
then what you said was, which was powerful, because sometimes people are resistant to the idea of
Right.
change or even doing this or thinking, I don't need that. I'm okay. So your story and your testimony is powerful. And we're just all here to evolve. And I mean, you fell in love with the shake. You said something that I hear all the time. I'm taking notes that it kept you full.
Yes.
Thank you so, so much
Mhm.
for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to hear from some other shredders. I know that some of y'all have been talking to me, but who else is willing to share their feedback? April, thank you. Oh, let me
Hi.
answer this. Let me answer this question. Their
Sure.
question came in about what is a super shred. So in January every year we have it where when the first Monday of the year. So we generally start the shred the second Monday of every month. But in January, everybody wants to get going right away. So we have the option where a person can start the shred the first Monday of January and then shred all the way through. So they're doing 17 days, like an extra week of the shred. So that's what the super shred is. Okay, April. And those that are coming in, because y'all are like, wait a minute, you said 6, you said 5:30. Like, I'm so human right now. So on the flyer, it said 5:30. And then I kept saying 6, which is why I didn't get here on time. So those that are coming in, you're not late per se. It's my error. Okay, April.
Hi, thank you so much for
Hi.
allowing me to speak. I can't stay long, but I just want to say this was my first time shredding, and I didn't know if I could do it. I'll be honest,
Mhm.
but I'm actually so excited. I noticed for myself, I have been struggling with brain fog since 2020 post COVID, and probably by maybe day 3 or 4, I was sleeping so peacefully and thoughts were coming to my head that I had been struggling for so long to figure out. And it wasn't until you text me and asked, what are you noticing in different things? I said, you know what? I had stopped eating by 7 o'clock, going to bed at 11, and I slept like a baby. And I was
Wow.
waking up feeling refreshed and just having the parameters. I was scared, thinking I wouldn't be able to do so much, but what I found was there were so many other options that I could eat and so many things that I
Yes.
could do, but just knowing, okay, stop at 7, simple things, keeping my capsules, close to my morning routine and having the protein shake. It, it, it was simple. It was a lot simpler than I anticipated,
God,
but
okay.
just the mental clarity that has come that I'd struggled with since 2020
Wow.
has been just amazing. And now coming off of the shred, I'm like, I want a sandwich, but do I? I don't know. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to give up that mental clarity that I've been
Yeah.
feeling. So I'm just excited for that, to just the simplicity of being able to think clear.
Wow.
Yes.
That is great. I think everybody has such a different experience, and that's what's so lovely is, some might say more energy, brain. I mean, just all this different benefits from the shred. There's some hands up, so I'm going to get to the hands up, and then I also toward the end I'm going to talk about what's next, because I do know that once. Well, let me just say this: those that are doing the shred, you're done, right? Your 10 days are up, but that doesn't mean that you have to stop because you feel good. So yes, what you said, April, is okay. You're like, well, now that I feel so good, do I want to go back to that or not? But so it's your space of self-discovery. Okay, Francesca, and y'all are so kind with the hands up. I'm almost not that techie, so I didn't know how to do that. But Francesca, your hand is up. So
Hi,
hi, how are you?
I am Francesca's mother. My name is Lillian,
Oh, okay. Francesca's mother,
and
Lillian. Okay.
I tried to shred. I started on the 10-day journey, and I want you to know, I wish I would have known long time ago. I felt so great. The
Wow.
inflammation everything went down. I felt great. I lost 7 pounds within that
Mhm.
10 days.
Wow.
I was very shocked of the weight loss, but I tell you, I will continue this. It would
Wow.
not stop.
You
You
go.
know,
Yay.
I'm not a pill person or anything.
Goosebumps.
I like that shake. It tastes so good. I
Wow.
made me want to set it on the side of my bed last night just to have that taste in my mouth. It was so good.
Wow.
So it got to the point that I ran out of my chocolate. So I'm on the vanilla now. So, it's just wonderful.
It's
I
so
love it. I just want to encourage everyone to give it a try.
to give it a
I
try.
was so kicking against everything not to give it a try, but you
Mhm.
know what? I'm glad I did because
Yes.
I feel great.
And you said something that I want, well, when you bring other people, that's my point to the shred is
Yes,
I always just say each one teach one.
yes,
So many people are resistant because it sounds
Yes.
like people like, give up my sugar, but the shakes taste so good,
Oh,
right?
it was so good. So
Yeah,
good.
and it can curve the sweet tooth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
So
can.
we want you to share it with others so that we can
Absolutely.
continue to grow this
Yes,
community.
yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
When is the next one?
So the next, and who's your shred leader?
Now Bernetta.
Bernetta. Okay. So the next one will start on the 13th of February.
February
we-
13th, y'all.
And we know that Valentine's Day. for those
Right,
of
that's
you-
what I was getting ready to say, the day before.
we don't,
Eat your chocolate on Sunday.
so we
That's
don't
true.
we don't care
true.
about that because I want to say this, and Erica, I know your hand is up, so I'll come to you. The reason why we don't care about that per se, and it's a good thing, because there's always going to be the Super Bowl and the holidays and someone's
Mhm.
funeral and somebody's baby shower, whatever. So we got to learn how to just keep it
Yeah.
rolling and moving
Keep it
right
rolling.
through. And
Yeah.
so maybe during the shred, you have some strawberries and you dip it in the complete, and that's how you make your chocolate covered strawberries, right? So it's love day, love on yourself, love on other people. Think of another way to be creative. So yeah, we don't stop the show. So it is Valentine's Day, and we will love ourselves right through that day. So thank you. Yay. Erica.
And Robin, real
Oh,
quick, so
yes.
many people on my team lost like 7 pounds. Like that was the number, 6 or
Wow.
7.
6 or
among-
7
there's
pounds.
like 8 of them. Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
there's something to be said about the community and the camaraderie and just knowing that we're doing this together. Very good. Erica. And I'm gonna do a few more feedback because I don't want to keep us on here forever. But I want to keep us on here past 6 because there's gonna be new people coming on, I think. But Erica.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Bernetta. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Robin. I'm not a fan of shakes at all.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, I was a hard sale. But
Ah,
what I had to do, because I like to chew my food, and that's okay.
mhm.
So what I've been doing is I like, oatmeal and grits and things like that in the morning.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I just use the shake in my grits and I mix
Oh.
it. And let me tell you, chocolate grits, if you're having
Really?
a craving, oh my God,
Okay.
it's heaven. It is
Stop
heaven.
that. What?
Really?
Yeah, I just put the powder in my grits. And
Chocolate
it was
okay.
delicious. I was like, wow, and you gave me another idea for Valentine's Day because I just don't like, I don't know. I like the consistency of milk or a milky type of, I just don't like it.
Right.
But I'm just trying to incorporate it to food. But what I
Yes.
did notice, that magic number 7, that was for me.
Yes.
I was like, wow, I lost 7 pounds. But
That's
I was
beautiful.
texting Dr. Burnett. I said, wow, maybe this is TMI. But the first thing I noticed is my urine with the water challenge. It looked
Yes.
like it literally looked like I took bottled water and poured it in the toilet.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
urine is so clear. I'd never seen
Wow.
my urine look that clear. And
Wow.
another thing I noticed is when I brushed my teeth, I didn't notice I wasn't taking in enough water. because usually when I brush my teeth, it's a lot of foam and lather. But I noticed that I actually have saliva in my mouth.
Wow.
I was like, oh wow, that told me I wasn't drinking enough water. And
Wow.
also in the morning, my eyes were always dry. I had just dry eyes. And so I text Dr. Burnett that I said, oh my God, Dr. Burnett, I said, girl, I got crust in I have eye boogers.
Oh.
And I'm so happy about it. That means I have tear ducts, really in my sleep.
Oh,
So
that's
that was my testimony.
no, that you know what I just every time someone shares their story, it's so profound because you're saying about the water and having eye boogers, but if you don't have enough moisture, then maybe you don't. Yeah, never knew that, never thought about it. That is a wonderful testimony, and the fact that you made some chocolate grits because there are other people who do not like. They want to chew. They don't want to drink. And so what you said is just so useful for other people. And you can, someone says they put it in their oatmeal. I've heard somebody put it in their coffee, but they got it in. So thank you so much for that. Yay. Yay, yay. Some other ones, y'all. Who else is willing to be transparent? Because I've heard some great stories and I really hope that some of y'all are willing to share that. Anybody else? I can't see whose hands are raised. Let me see if I can do the gallery view. Are there any other hands that are raised? Zarina. Okay, go ahead.
Hey,
Hi.
I enjoyed the process. This is my first shred. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was something that was easy for me to do. And I mentioned when we were kind of like checking in, was it easy because it was easy, or is it easy because I just was mentally ready for it? And I think it's definitely a little bit of both. Coming out of the holidays, I was not feeling well at all. I had a lot of mucus. I had a sinus infection. Had been on antibiotics, and I just felt really, really bad. And I was looking forward to the first day of the shred because I just wanted to feel better. And I could tell by I don't know, day 3 or something, I definitely was feeling better. I think by day 5, I didn't have any more mucus. I didn't have any heartburn from cheese and bread. I have a chronic fatigue. So having the energy to do things is really difficult sometimes. So I actually noticed that I felt somewhat normal. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. If this were my everyday normal, I could live. This could be like life. When you have fatigue to the point where it's just it's like someone removes your batteries and you can't even really push your body forward or function, that's no life. And I'm a really bubbly, I have a lot of personality. I like to step and stroll and just have a really good time. But if I don't have the energy to do that, and it's just not life for me. So for me to feel somewhat normal was a huge improvement for me. So I went into it like I need something that I can maintain, that I can do to enhance my quality of life. And this is exactly what happened in those 10 days. It was amazing.
Wow. With the chronic fatigue, so I want to say this. There's some of you all, and you know this, that taking the capsules and all of Juice Plus is not required to do the shred. There are some of you, maybe a good chunk of you, that do the capsules or the chewables in addition to the shakes. And so for those that just started with the shred, this was their first shred, and you only did the shakes, I want to plant in your mind to think about adding the Juice Plus capsules on your next shred, because it really does make a difference, but you wouldn't know that until you take that next level, because you are putting in so much more nutrients in your body. I'm going to come back to that in a little bit, because I do want to reiterate the power of doing it all. You heard Arlene say that at one point she was just doing parts, but not all. And when you put it all together, and Zarina is doing everything, the fruits, the vegetables, the berries, the omegas, the shakes, and all of that nutrition goes right to your body at a cellular level. So when you're taking things out that don't serve you and you're flooding your body with what does, your body says, wow, what's up? And it just starts to operate differently. And we can never say what will happen to you individually, right? We have some where different mucus, different energy. So it just depends. I want to get a couple of other sharers with their feedback, and then we're not going to act like this is easy peasy for everybody. So I do want us to be able to discuss this wasn't right. I didn't like that shake, or I didn't, whatever it was, right? Because we don't want to act like it's all rosy. It's because it's not. And so those who are having a different story, you're like, well, maybe I wasn't right, or maybe, we want y'all to know that, yeah, there's some adverse stories of the shred, and we don't want to leave those out. So any other lost 8 pounds. Yeah, 7, 8, very good. Anybody else willing to share their experience, their positive experience? My BJ? Oh, you got to unmute.
Oh, I was just saying, the last young lady's testimony, it clicked because when I first started a few years back, I think I had lost 6 pounds, but the one thing that was really noticeable is I had lost the swelling in my feet and ankles. And so it was at that point that I decided to just make shred my way of life. And so I wanted to encourage some of you that said, oh, when's the next shred? So if you like that well enough and you felt like it gave you energy and stuff, why get off of it? Just continue it. So I've continued mine. It'll be almost 3 years. And Dr. Bernetta at that time had what she called the 80-20 program. Now, we don't really talk about 80-20 anymore, but that was like, if I do it right, 80% of the time I can have a cheat day. So back then when we started, we still had Friday where we were eating our French fries. Now we don't eat French fries anymore. But the thing is, this has now been our way of eating. And so there's nothing but shred.
What was the total amount of weight that you lost during, so you've been
See, I
shredding for
started
3
at
years.
180 and I went to 125. And so I've been at 125 for a while, but I've lost the majority of my weight within the first year.
Wow.
And then I
Sticking.
use this as the maintenance. So sometimes we look at another plan for maintenance. I just use shred for maintenance. But I learned through that I did not have to eat as much food as we were taught by culture, because culture teaches you clean your plate. The Lord told me, no, only eat enough food to fuel your body for what you need to do that day, and stop eating when your brain says you're not hungry. He reminded me on how we used to eat when they fed you meals on plane. Anybody know that? Or am I just the oldest one? But they fed you a meal on what looked like a coffee saucer. So now basically I eat a coffee saucer worth of food. And so even when I'm going out, I eat up from my appetizer menu, and I try to eat something healthy. I'm not trying to eat fried foods and frozen foods and, fast food. So I'm still doing the shred. And every now and then, like one day last year, I wanted a hamburger. I ate it and went right back to shred.
She ate it.
Yeah. And on my birthday, I wanted strawberry cheesecake. I ate a sliver, not a slice, a sliver. And I got my fill of that. But I've also found some cheat foods. There, for those of you that just got to have something in your mouth, they got some all fruit popsicles with no MSG and no sodium in it.
Okay.
And I can have about 4 of them and I'm good.
And you're good. Do you know the name? Do you know the name of them?
I get it. I'll have to look at it and send it to you.
Okay.
But sometimes you just want something in your mouth. I keep
Mhm.
them there, but I've had them there for a year. And I've only gone to them twice.
My BJ, so because I'm looking at the chat, how young are you? Because I want people that have never seen you or they don't
Well,
they, 'cause
this year I'm gonna be God's perfect number twice. So this year I'll be 77.
77. I want people to understand because and you started shredding, you said 3 years ago.
Yes.
And it's never too obviously never
Never
too
too late.
late. Yeah. So I'm gonna come back to you, Madhvija. I want to make sure I if there's any other couple of feedback. I see I don't want to call anybody, put anybody out there, but I see some other shredders that I would love for you to share your guys' feedback. Anybody else, you can unmute or if you don't know how to put your virtual hand up or something, but anybody else willing to share their experience on the shred before we talk about, what didn't go right. Anybody else willing to share?
This is Althea.
Hi, Althea. Hey,
Hi.
where's Edna and Brenda? Are they around?
I'm not for sure. I know Edna was there. She had planned to join, but
Okay.
Brenda worked, so
Got
she
it.
gets played and she's exhausted, so
Got
she
it.
probably
Got it.
did get on.
So
But
yes, please go share your feedback,
go ahead.
please.
Very much. I think it's a mindset. I started with a little apprehensive, but I kind of eased into it, and it became. I'm a diabetic, so that was my. I guess that would be what made me a little apprehensive because of the fact that I wasn't having the sugars or not the necessarily the sugars, but I had like glucose tablets that bring it up because mine go up and down. So I have learned to eat the food I need and balance it out. Even if it goes down, I could have a fruit and the nuts to bring it back up, which work, quite well. And luckily, my body does have an alarm. I wake up when it goes down too low, so that's good. But overall, I did balance it out, and it's working really well for me. And so I guess for those who are diabetic, I didn't go through the doctor, which is what maybe I should have, but I thought it's something I could work with and make it work for myself. So far, I'm doing okay with it. And hopefully when I get my blood work done again, I'll have good numbers because I am, keeping it balanced. And
Yes.
I do plan to continue, so that says volumes, that I did enjoy it. And the shakes are satisfying. It's sweet enough for me. I don't miss the sugars. I do add fruit to it sometime and avocado, and that makes it even almost like an ice cream shake, So for me, it's very satisfying. So I appreciate the information I've learned. I'm a first timer, so I appreciate all the other testimonies, and I'm glad to be on board.
Yes, thank you so much. Wow. All right. So I think again, we could go on and on with the feedback, but let's talk about what didn't go right? Let's keep it real. I've heard, we know for some of y'all, the shakes give you gas. I've heard some very funny, comical stories about that, or just anything in between. So who's willing to share, some things that maybe just didn't work out right for you? Anybody willing to share that truth? Who's scared? Y'all scared? It worked out for everybody? Really? That can't be true.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Zarina again.
Hi. Okay. Oh, I like your shake story.
Yes.
Shake story.
So day one, it did not agree with me.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the flavor of the shakes.
Uh-huh.
I did vanilla because, usually you put vanilla with other stuff or, banana, and I had to have it with banana. So I couldn't just do powder and water. I have to put a banana in it. It just needed a little bit more sweetness for my liking. But that first day and the first time I made the shake, I put everything in it. I had a banana, half of a avocado, the powder, the water, and it came back up with a vengeance. So it just was not. We had a fight, but the second time I made it, it went down a lot better because I just had to put it with a banana, and then it was fine. The most important thing for me was knowing the whole nutrition I was getting. So it just, it became easier through the 10 days. With that first day, I was like, uh-oh, what have I done to myself?
What
But
have I done? Very good. I
yeah,
know.
but it was good though.
When I first tasted the shake, I was like, this tastes like dirt. Honestly, the chocolate, I didn't like it. Now I love it. I don't go a day without it. But when I first tasted it, like I was like, what? What? I don't know about this. But adding like the banana and the almond and all the, all the good stuff to it, then it changed it. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have a story to share about the shakes or anything else that just was not working for you?
Amen. Did you see her name come up?
No, whose name? Edna?
Edna.
Oh no, I didn't see Edna's name. But yeah, and I can't see everybody because there's quite a few of you guys on there, but you're welcome to just unmute and start talking.
Well, Robin, I was going to say, when I first started the shakes, you'll remember I had a really big problem with, I was just so gassy. And so honestly, I went off the shakes. I just thought, I can't do it. I don't mind the taste. I was shocked that, because I'm really more of a vanilla girl, but I got the chocolate. Actually, chocolate's now my favorite. But what I noticed is after I had been on the capsules for about 6 months or 8 months or so, something changed in there. And I was able to do the shakes. And now I'm kind of like you. I'm gonna have a shake. Like I almost, I was trying to go to bed early the other night and I could not go to sleep. It was like, you have not had your shake. You're gonna have to make it happen. So there we have it. It's a done deal now. And I don't have that problem anymore. Yeah.
Yes, the gas. Yeah. So I've heard someone tell me, they called me. This is quote, I think a buffalo crawled up my butt and died. That was a quote. Like that was my favorite quote. Like a buffalo crawled up my butt and died. And they were like, I'm not gonna drink these shakes. I was like, okay. So we don't want anybody else. I know.
Hi, Robin, this is Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I just wanted to let you know that I'm on board. I'm glad to be on board myself. And also, I did have a problem with mine's the first time with because of my diabetes. I'm a diabetic too. And I also wanted to share with you about, at first you had told me to do the shakes for my lunch. And because of my job, because working and having a really strenuous job, a heavy job, working really hard, when I would do the shakes for lunch, for breakfast, it just my breakfast, it wasn't enough food. I wasn't getting enough food in. So when I changed the shake to breakfast, it worked out much better for me.
Better. Yeah.
Oh, it was so much better because the breakfast, it would drop my sugar. When I was the little amount of the food that I was eating, and by the time I go back to work, my sugar is just too low. So when I changed over to having the shakes for that morning, that worked out so much better. And I was able to say, okay, I'm gonna stay on this diet. At first I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
Got it.
I thought I was gonna pass out because my sugar had just really, really bottomed out almost.
The shakes belong in the morning. That's where they are normally.
Okay.
But that's where everybody has them. But I did change it or make a suggestion, and then that didn't work. So we put it back. And yeah, you did have a couple of rough first couple of days. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I just want everybody to hear it's not always right. Like you start off and it may be rough. Yeah, and we find our way, and now you're doing good. But I guess by day three, you were doing okay. I think it was right. Yes. And then I'm gonna read a chat. So I'm reading because someone is in a public place. Princess said, sorry, in a public place, can't talk, but and she's typing what went right wait, what went right? Okay, not hungry at all, inflammation reduced, learn to embrace and be creative. And Princess was, she was showing pictures of wonderful food. So her inflammation went down and she was able to be creative and she lost some weight. So yeah, and if
Oh,
y'all
good.
want to type it in because you can't talk, you'll do that and I'll read it out. Very good. Any other thing that didn't go right before we kind of go into the wrap up space?
I just
Anything?
have a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
How do one know when their inflammation has gone down?
Who's speaking?
Tanisha,
Okay. And what was the question? Say it again.
how do one know if your inflammation has went down? You just stated, someone said that their inflammation went down. So
Yeah.
how do they know that?
How do you know? So those who know that your inflammation went down, would someone mind sharing how you knew that your inflammation went down? And maybe Princess, you'll type it in, but someone else that said that, would you mind unmuting and share how you knew or how you know?
I was going to say, not only did I have inflammation, I had high blood pressure and I had high cholesterol.
Mhm.
And let me just throw my husband in here. He has 5 catastrophic diseases. So once I started on it, we started treating everybody on our prayer line that had cancer, diabetes, immune deficiencies, any illness.
Wow.
We started treating with this. So
Wow.
I went back and had physicals at a certain point. And at that point, I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have the inflammation. And the way I could tell I didn't have the inflammation is because I had arthritis so bad that 11 years ago, I didn't know I had to have a hip surgery. And the doctor told me before Bernetta came and looked in my refrigerator, that if I didn't change, I was bone on bone and I would be right back in for the other one. So it's been 11 years and I haven't been. He said, arthritis, when you feed it the wrong food, gives you inflammation. That causes the pain and it eats at your bone. I haven't had any pain. I still have arthritis, but I'm not eating any food to cause inflammation. And so that was one of the things. But with that, when my husband got sick, Dr. Bernetta came over and looked in my refrigerator and my cupboards and took out my Lay's potato chips and a whole bunch of other stuff. But one thing that we knew is uric acid food and dairy causes any disease to get worse.
Yeah.
So we pulled my husband off of that. But 2 years ago, we put him on a version of Shred and start him eating more plant-based. He had 5 life-threatening disease. He was supersized, metastasized. And 16 years ago had 2 weeks to live. So today, some people was at our house from a church and they looked at my husband and said, is he getting younger? What is going on? And everything.
Yeah.
But he's eating plant-based. He's eating Shred. He takes the gummies. We now have switched from Perform. We get the other one now.
It's called Perform. And so
yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there because people are gonna be like, what is Perform? What's Perform? So hold that thought, Mom. Hold it thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. We'll come back. Because Perform is another protein option that the Juice Plus company has. So to answer the question that came up, so because I'm reading what's in the chat, is the body aches. So other people were saying their body aches went away, their swelling went down. Some people say they can just feel it. And then you can also know through your labs, but most people can just feel the pains going away because the inflammation pain is a side effect of that. And then just not seeing the swelling anymore. Hold on, Mabija, because I want to just make sure that we don't have any more questions, and we're going to say a couple of things before we wrap up, but then we'll officially stop it and then y'all can talk freely. Was there any other questions? Any other questions or comments? Okay, so let me say this, just mark your calendars for the 13th of February. That's when the next shred is going to happen. For those that are shredders under me, I usually send out an announcement a week before we're going to start shred, and you can just say, yes, we're going to do it. I want to talk specifically about Juice Plus being, so the shakes, it's called the complete, that's the shakes. And then the Juice Plus are the capsules, the fruits, the vegetables, the berries, and the omegas. And I do want to encourage you all that if you did not include it this time, you still don't have to, but I would encourage you to do that and see then that's taking your shred to another level. And those that are seeing, so when you're in conjunction with taking the things out of your body, the gluten, the wheat, and all of those things, the sugar, and then you're adding in this nutrition, that's where it's just a synergistic love song that is happening. Dr. Bernetta, did you want to say anything? And I do want to hear a couple of people's testimonies with what they noticed by having the Juice Plus a part of their shred, if anything. Dr. Bernetta, did you want to say anything?
Well, the very first team that I worked with, I did immediately notice that those that were on my team that had been using the plant powders really did earnestly have an easier shred. It was easier for them to stick with it. They didn't have the hiccups that many have experienced, but they also, those that needed to lose weight, immediately the weight was released. And so I encourage many of my customers to get on the capsules first or and then try the shred. So there really is a double benefit. And I think if my mom, Barbara, was on here, she could tell you guys about that. But hopefully those who are listening to all the wonderful testimonies and hearing what people are saying, you're considering it in the back of your mind, like, when can I add those plant powders to make this the full deal for your body. Thanks, Robin. You're muted.
Oh, okay. So anybody else want to share their experience with what they've noticed by adding the Juice Plus? Even just with or without the shred, because I want y'all to understand that if you are new to the shred, you're still taking the Juice Plus every day. Even if you're not doing the shake, you continue with the fruits, the vegetables, or berries, or whatever variation you have, because you're getting that nutrition. Anybody? Arlene, go for it.
What I found out is that when I don't take the capsules, I'm hungry more. So, when we talk about being fed on the cellular level, I tend to eat more, and this is with or without the shred. I tend to eat more without taking the capsules because I feel like my body is wanting to be nourished, and so it's seeking nourishment. And so it's triggering things in my brain to say, you need to eat. But when I take the capsules, my brain doesn't trigger, oh, you need to eat. Even though I know I need to eat for eating purposes, but it's not like I become, me and Bernetta use the word ravenous. I don't become ravenous when I take the capsules.
Wow. There is an actual study that shows that taking the Juice Plus actually helps with insulin resistance and then reduction of belly fat. And then there is a study about reduction in weight with it. Because again, when you're getting the nutrients, the body's like, oh, I'm satisfied. I have what I need. Thank you for that. Anyone else willing to share their story? Somebody unmute. Yes, go ahead.
This is Edna.
Hi.
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 I would like to share that I've been enjoying the journey that I'm on. That I have noticed that I haven't been hungry during the tread.
Okay.
Tremendously. The sugar has not been a problem at all. I just want to add that to that.
Wow. Very good. And this was your first time, and you're taking everything too, the fruits, the vegetables, the berries, the omegas. You also had the shakes, so you
Yes,
have it all. Yeah,
I
and
do.
that's the most powerful way to do it. So thank you for being here and doing it, going all in. Thank you so much for that. Anybody else? A couple more just about your experience, even with just taking the fruits and vegetables and the power that you've noticed with taking the Juice Plus. Anybody else? Okay. I know there's others. I know that before I move on. So I'm going to tell my own story about taking the Juice Plus. I don't get to tell it. Maybe I do, but so I'm a nutritionist, y'all know that. And I thought I was just too cool. I thought I was like, oh, I have enough produce in my body. So what could this do for me? And I used to have red eyes all the time. And when I started taking the Juice Plus, the capsules, fruit, vegetables, berries, and the omegas, my eyes weren't red anymore. My gums used to bleed. That doesn't happen. My nails, I used to wear fake false nails. And now, like, these are all my nails and they're long. And it saved me money because I used to pay the nail lady however much I used to pay her every 2 weeks. And then my hair is real and it's long and it grows and it's thick. And I thought I was doing well with my nutrition, but by adding it in there, I noticed. And also, I used to have this dry patch of something on my forehead that's gone. So there's just a lot of benefits that come from flooding your body, and you just can't even know unless you do it. And sometimes it's a hard concept because you're like, fruits and vegetables in a capsule, like, really? That's what I thought. Like, are you serious? But yeah. And what it is it's the pits, the peel, the seeds, all of that put into a big old grinder, and the water's taken out, and you're just getting all this powerful nutrients to your body. And what's important is it doesn't have to go through your digestive system. So if you have digestive challenges, it goes through to your bloodstream and helps to heal your gut. And when your gut is healed, then you're able to absorb and take on other nutrients better. And that's powerful. So any questions or comments before we just wrap up this conversation? Any other comments?
Yes, I'd like to know, did anybody get constipated? Because I feel like in the beginning I was constipated.
Yeah. So I'll see if someone can answer that. But did you did you just do the shakes? Were you doing the Juice Plus, all of it? What were you doing?
I wasn't taking the Juice Plus supplements, but
Okay.
I was only doing the shake.
Only the shakes, and you got constipated. So I will answer that after if anybody else, because yes, the answer is yes, something that happens. So anybody want to take that? Anybody want to say or agree or share their experience with constipation? No? Okay. Bernetta, do you want to say anything about that? You don't have to. I'll take it if I. No, she's like, you go and take it. So I'll say this, adding in the Juice Plus helps because that's giving you all this nutrients and it helps with your bowels. But also when you're rearranging what your body used to have, you're pulling out things, your body sometimes is like shock, and there's a detox effect. And part of the detox effect, one of the symptoms is short-term constipation. Were you drinking water? Oh yeah, I was just going to ask that. Were you drinking a lot of water?
Yes, I was drinking I know at least 6 bottles of water a day.
Okay. So what I would recommend is to continue to drink the water. And again, it's the detox effect. I don't know who your shred leader is. Who's your shred leader? Do you know?
Bernetta.
Okay, Bernetta. So maybe Bernetta will send you the detox information so that you can see that it's not uncommon. And then maybe you would consider adding in the capsules, the fruits and the vegetables or what have you. You can talk with her so that you can see, because yeah, we want your bowels to move. But sometimes short-term constipation is a effect of the detox. It just is true. There's also, for some of y'all, I've had people that they get rashes, they get headaches, they get mucus coming out of their eyes. There's all kinds of things that the body it's trying to figure out what you're doing. And sometimes it's an unpleasant result. So that's not uncommon. And I appreciate that you did say that, because I do want people to understand that sometimes it's not all fun and rosy, that some people experience detox. Thank you for that. Any others? Okay, so we're starting again February 13th. We don't care about Valentine's Day being the next day. You put that chocolate complete on them strawberries, have a good time. And whoever your shred leader is, they will let you know that we're starting again. And we have that Facebook group that y'all, we love that y'all are in there posting. And then y'all have different shred leaders. So each of the shred leaders have different ways that we communicate with our shredders. But we're one big happy family. And I encourage you, if you had a good time, and so many of you did, don't do this alone. Bring your family, your sister friends, your brother friends, people that you love, so that they can do it too. Because so many of y'all said that you wish, if I knew then, well, I wish I knew earlier, right? And so we had to pull some of y'all kicking and screaming, and you're better for it. So it's 10 days. And you can do it for 10 days. And in those 10 days, y'all see what happened to you and how you feel. So now that it's over, I want to talk about what to do next, right? So it's 10 days, you're free. You can eat as much cheese as you want. You can have a whole sandwich or two, but do you want to is the question, right? So you can do 3 things. You can say, I love how I feel, and I'm going to keep going with this. Like Ma BJ said, I love how I feel. I'm gonna keep going with this. And then you say, you know what, I'm gonna have a little bit of sliver of cheesecake here and there, but my life is going to be this, right? You can do that. Or you can say, all right, the shred is over. When it happens again next month, I'm gonna jump on board, but I'm gonna just go back to what I was doing before. You can decide what works for you. Or you can say, I ain't doing this no more. These people are crazy. I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it. And you just disappear off into the night, and we never see you again, right? You can do any of those things. But we hope that you will be with us. You will stay with us. We've been doing this for years and years and years. And we want you to do this 10 days every month. And then after that, this is the thing. Your body is some of y'all are gonna go eat a sandwich tomorrow, or some cheese or some whatever, and your stomach gonna hurt, or you gonna get bloated, or you gonna whatever. And then that's how you're going to know your body didn't like that. And you probably already knew before, but now put it back in your body, and your body will say, oh, what you doing? Right? So you decide how you want to do you tomorrow or the next day, but we're going to be right back here February 13th. We don't always have the after wrap up call. We tend to do this way every few months. We'll probably do it quarterly like this, but individually with your shred leaders, I'll do some kind of a connecting in with everybody. But I think that's somebody needs to order some more something. So if y'all need to order something, contact your shred leader, and they'll get that for you. And before we go, any last minute comments or questions before we go off into wherever we're going off to? Anything else? And thank you for I have the times all kind of crazy, because I'm all in all these different time zones. So I don't know what's what, and y'all are texting me like, "What? Where are you?" And I'm like, "Huh? I'm gonna be 30 minutes late." So, anyways, thank you for that. Glad you're here, Dr. Bernetta, Dr. BJ, Denise, Chandra, Josephine, Ave, all the shred leaders that are here. Everybody go out and be great. And I love you all. I do. And extra special love to y'all shredders that are with me. Oh, can bone broth be taken during the shred? Sure. Yep. You can enjoy your bone broth. You can. Any other questions or anything? I'm gonna stop the recording. All right.